Welcome to the Hey Jimmy podcast. For years, these five fools have spent way too much time together debating the most idiotic notions. Now they are recording for your pleasure. Put on your thinking caps and strap in for some weird and wild talking points.
Hey, Jimmy!
Hey, Jimmy!
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Wow, good.
How's everybody feeling about this new recording time?
Oh,
I'll let you know.
great.
Steve,
Honestly,
I
I
didn't think you were gonna
was-
make it, to be honest. But you know, I think
see-
about your new schedule, and I always think about how it used to be.
Yes. No, I get that.
Whereas, like, there was no reaching you before like 11 a.m.
That was probably a lot of why it always seemed like I had
Yeah.
a lot of sleeping problems. It was because I was always just waking. I work nights, so it was like, I worked on a completely different schedule. So waking up at 8 a.m. when I was going to bed at
Yeah,
4 is kind of rough. At least on my newer schedule, it's a little bit easier. I just kept my same work vibe. I woke up a little bit later.
I made a gentleman's bet with myself for $1 that you wouldn't make it today, so I'm net $1.
And I was the first one on
yeah.
here. So
I mean, it's always crazy to me when you answer texts at like 5 a.m.
Going to bed at 4 and getting up at 8. That's college time.
well, sometimes I'm answering them at 5 a.m. because I'm still awake. But
I mean, Steve, you should be an investment banker.
That's production lifetime too.
for me, college time, I was awake for 36 hours and
then he would die.
sleep for 8, and that was horrible. It felt like crap. And
I mean, on the plus side, like, you'd be really well suited to, like, jump into, like, Men in Black, because I'm pretty sure they're on weird galactic time.
Yeah, they're like a 36-hour day, I think, or yeah, something.
Oh, what? Speaking of staying up 36 hours, what's the craziest thing you ever took to stay awake?
Lots of caffeine.
see, coffee doesn't do it for me. Coffee helps me wake up. It doesn't help me stay up.
I'm not incriminating myself on this podcast. Okay, let's get
All
to
right.
it. Let's spin the wheel. See what bullshit we're. So our number was 25. What is the
Ugh.
one thing that you would erase from humanity's collective memory? I think Alex wrote
Maybe.
that one. It's wordy.
It sounds
and meaty.
like it's something Alex would
That's
write.
that
Alex
sounds
wrote
like
a lot of
something I
these.
probably would have written. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's something meaty to deal with in the morning. By the way, we're not up super early. This is like it's 8 a.m. my time. It's 9 a.m. their time.
But it's a Saturday. It's our one day to sleep. And
We're millennials. There's no such thing as a weekend, Steve.
Yeah, you should be working until you die.
speak for yourself.
Okay, one thing to erase from humanity's collective memory. I don't know. I feel for me it would be some sort of version of getting rid of social media because I feel like that's turned us all into zombies.
That'd be nice.
Probably more political.
I'm trying to think about what would be good to erase that also don't want to erase history because
Mhm.
technically that's learning experience.
I mean,
I
I
don't know.
guess the hard part is also with this question, the more I think about it as I wrote it, is like, even if you erase it from memory, like, aren't we just going to, like, discover it again? Like, if you're talking about a specific technology, like, maybe someone would say the atomic bomb, we should erase that from memory. It's like, well, even if you did, like, someone's going to still figure out, like, hey, why don't we use nuclear, like, the atom, split it to, like, cause power.
Yeah, but do you think people are smart enough to do that nowadays? Because I personally don't feel like we are as a society anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to an academic here. Like, there's still plenty of smart people who'd be thinking about this.
Are you thinking that we're living idiocracy?
We're
Oh.
getting there.
If not, we are getting there. We're real close to it. Maybe like 100 years away.
Let me ask this: when we erase these memories from collective minds of humanity, are we removing them at their earliest point or at current time?
Oh, it's definitely current
Current.
day. I think we're not talking fucking Back to the Future.
Because if we were able to wipe it from actual history, I would definitely remove reality TV
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
They are probably the single bane to humanity was reality TV shows. And I want to shoot the person who I would go back in time and I'd stop that person from making the first reality TV show.
Yeah, but that's different. That's totally different than what we're talking about. That came out. I mean, reality TV show came out of the writers' strike.
No, I
that
know. I'm just
happened.
saying, but that
So-
would be a way to remove it from history.
And here's the thing, like, if you did that, like, I think that's interesting because, like, reality TV really did spring because of that one unique, like, intersection of humanity's history. So if you were to, like, erase reality TV from our collective conscience now, there's a good chance that, like, reality TV wouldn't become as big, as important, especially now that we're in the age of, like, prestige dramas like Game of Thrones and things like that. So if you actually did right now erase reality TV from our collective memory, it's a good chance that based on current trends, like, it wouldn't come back. At least not come back in its current form, dominating the landscape. Now, the issue is, has reality TV already done its damage?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I don't know if you could erase it. I mean, a lot of people take guilty pleasure in watching reality TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get to see the best and worst of people. I don't know. My hippie side is like, we should erase the collective memory of hate.
I love Nailed It. I freaking
Yeah.
love that show.
Yeah, but I think that's different. I mean, I've never watched it, but it seems more innocent than what Road Rules or
I mean,
The real world.
Yeah.
they set people up for failure to more or less make fun of them. I mean, they set amateur bakers up to try to create these crazy creations, and inevitably they fail. They kind of show their piece of shit that they made versus what it was supposed to look like, and it's hilarious.
See, a show that I feel like a competition show, while it is a reality TV show, I feel like a competition show doesn't have to be, the way other reality TV shows are, where there's drama between the contestants. That's just an exasperating thing. That kind of just is annoying, and it's not
but
necessary.
here's the thing. With like a reality TV show, a lot of that tension is cut and edited, and then they're forced to
Or it's
continue that
scripted.
storyline. So it's not that stuff's not real.
I mean, it's one thing if it was like they were creating the tension in the individual. They're struggling to get things done on time. They're trying to. They came across an issue. They overcooked something. They cut something wrong. They any of those situations. Those are like natural tensions that involve that one person. But like to have a tension between three people when they're not even close to each other is you're trying to like exasperate it
it's
unnecessarily.
like the first
But then-
Survivor. It was all cut around to like make the first guy that won look like an evil bastard.
Mhm.
But it was because they were when you're recording for 24 hours a day, you just have so much content. You can pick and
Yep.
choose what conversations to leave in, leave out.
Oh, absolutely. And
So-
every reality TV show was pretty much just oh man, can we replicate Survivor? And that's how it got worse. And then when the writer's strike happened, it was like, shit, we don't need scripts for this. We don't need writers. Let's just
Listen,
put
my
people in a
favorite
room.
reality TV, or I don't know if you consider it's technically a game show, is Fear Factor.
Yeah.
Fear Factor for me was like the best. Like that was the one thing I would want to remember. Just like stupid people getting paid money to eat or do stupid shit was like that is the guiltiest of all of my
And-
pleasures.
I don't think I would have such a problem with reality TV shows if they were just like that, where they were just, it's the person. It's not the person fighting with another person for drama because they slept with some other guy that
Well,
they've only known for
And
a
you're
week.
also
Like,
you're also being pretty
like-
specific with the type of reality TV you're talking about. I mean, you
Like
could
Deadliest Catch?
expand that. I mean, the first probably the first reality TV show was Cop.
oh, I'm absolutely being very specific because that's the kind that rotted people's brains. That was literally the type.
Jersey Shore.
Yeah. Well, Jersey Shore, yes, but Real World and Road Rules.
I mean, I have to say, like, with that, I mean, I'd be very upset if all of a sudden, like, Northwoods and Lone Star Law were cut from my collective memory, because to
I don't
see
even
all
know
those...
what you're talking about.
So imagine cops, instead of like watching angry white cops continuously harass black people, it's instead really pleasant white cops writing tickets against annoying white people for committing crimes against nature, fishing without a license, hunting without a license, doing bad things to animals. And it's like, yes, you feel good about watching this.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's why I like Northwoods and Lone Star Law.
Yeah. I mean, Cops was probably one of the worst reality TV shows or whatever you want to call it to come out of that. It's like just an absolute denigration of people who didn't deserve to be put in front of a limelight.
Well, there's that one that we watched where it was a cop in the Northwest not in North in the Northwest, but like his whole thing was investigating people that were cutting down these giant trees that you need like a specific license for, and I guess go for a lot of money.
Oh yeah, I mean that show was great.
That
I'm
was
just saying, like,
interesting.
reality TV goes back further and I think encompasses more than what the initial point was going towards.
I mean, think about like Jerry Springer, Maury, Dr. Phil. Like, that's all real reality TV that's existed long before Survivor. Judge Judy.
Sally,
I
what the
no,
hell
I
is
feel
it?
like Judge Judy is around Judge John. Was it like Joe Brown?
Yeah,
Oh, well, yes, and I
mean,
also don't necessarily like those either.
Night Court.
Night Court was a comedy. That was
Well, that was
a
on
great show too.
WB.
Night Court. Night Court was an actual show.
No, not the court ones. Not the court ones. The TV show. The
I just figured while we were
Uh,
bringing up court
like the
stuff.
predecessor to
enjoyed
like the Maury show.
Alex, you're the only person our age that
The guy who
thinks
was
the show Night Court was a good show.
Mm.
I've seen like 2 episodes. One of those episodes, I don't even think was a real episode. I saw them do the remake episode on 30 Rock.
Well, it
Oh
probably
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
is that
You
my
watched that.
parents
That
are
was
like
great.
early generation, like our first generation boomers. Courtesy of that, like I know a lot
Yeah.
of old TV. Like I still remember watching, like,
Yeah.
because my parents had A&E on all the time, like first season Law and Order episodes back when the show was like gritty
Oh my
and
God.
cutting edge.
I only saw that because I rented it from the library.
What if instead of erasing a thing, what if you erased a person from collective memory? I'm thinking espionage at this point. Like, what if you had the power to erase somebody so that they can go? Well, I mean, I feel like you know what? I feel like we're talking about a Marvel movie, which none of us have seen yet. But like, that's exactly what Doctor Strange does, right? What if you wiped off the existence of memory and then you were just able to be a different person?
So basically, you're saying what would happen if you took David Webb and called him Jason Bourne?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like what if you did stupid shit like that? And how many times could you do it? And do you get resets? Like fuck, someone remembers me.
No,
Click.
no. You're kind of going off
I'm
what you're
leaving.
saying.
Bye.
Like, yeah, that's the difference though. Like, you're not just like erasing someone's identity. You're like literally erasing like all collective memory. So Matt Damon's character, David Webb, would literally no longer exist. So you could still call him actually David Webb. Just no one would ever remember a David Webb having given birth or fathering or going out on a date with this person. So yeah, that would actually be
It's
a very
better that way.
interesting power.
I was gonna say if it's repetitive, that's a great power for an assassin.
I mean, but that's true. That's also a dangerous power because like the moment you get
You could broad daylight. You just you go you get somebody and then you go, okay. Oh my God! There's a dead person. Oh my God! What do we do?
or even just like walk into CVS, like take a snack and walk out, and like all of a sudden security's like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's like, click. Now no one remembers me, so now I get a free snack.
Yeah. Or is it, but here's the thing, like if you were to erase one thing or one person, like we were talking about the atomic bomb or whatever, what if you erase that collective memory, but then no one could have access to anything that has to do with that memory again? So you erase the atomic bomb from people's memory, and then no one is able to figure out how to make an atomic bomb because that memory or that information is no longer accessible to a human race.
Yeah, but people would just generate it again.
Well, not only that, but
That's the issue.
does that how would that
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that by erasing it, you make it not capable anymore to access any information about that. So like you wouldn't be able to rediscover it.
how would that affect the people that were working on it?
That would probably be bad because then there's a lot of stuff, our knowledge of the atom and nuclear physics that have brought in, like, that have contributed to a lot of other aspects of technology and society. So we probably wouldn't want to do that.
I know, but still, I think that's a fun conversation to have.
And also how would that affect the scientists that were working on it initially? If they're not working on that, like
And then you have all these people at the Atomic Energy Commission, like, looking at these warheads, being like, what the fuck are these?
Oh yeah, they would just be standing there in lab coats and go, "What the fuck were we doing?"
What happens if we press the red button?
Well, I feel like there's a Black Mirror episode. It's been a while since I've watched it, but there's a Black Mirror episode where this guy gets shunned from everybody's life. So like when they see him, he's just like this ominous black figure because they all have like the chips inside there, or they're like, so like the government's able to control, and their punishment is not being able to see or hear them when they're being shunned
I mean, this also sounds, I don't know if this was a Netflix only movie, but it's like Clive Owen, Amanda Siegfried, and it's like a world in which everyone has chips. So when you walk down the street, you can see everyone's name pop up in front of them, like pop up, and you can access basic information. But like the whole thing is that there are people.
Oh, that's the movie about Google Glass, right?
It's something like that, really, literally. But like the whole thing is that there are people who like have other counter things that you don't actually see their information. They don't show up. Their faces are all like blipped out as you were describing when you look at them.
Oh.
See, that's the thing, right? Like even if you erase an idea, it just shows up in some adjacent form.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I don't think you can erase really, especially things that are so integral and things
That makes
like,
sense.
that are so foundational and humanity's search for knowledge. No matter what you do about the atomic bomb, we're probably going to like recreate them simply because people will be curious about the atom. And like one of the extensions and logical places when you learn more about the atom is harnessing its energy to blow shit up.
See, I think if you're gonna try to forget a person, I think it has to be strategic, right? If you want to wipe, a specific person off of people's minds,
You just did the Thanos.
it has to be like, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, you have to really like think about it, because like if you have a person, let's say that if there's a person in power and you didn't want them to go back into power, you make them forget it. Everybody thinks that person's trespassing. They might use force if necessary. But then again, you're also, if there's a person, let's say they did some form of like mass brainwashing, right? So like you have this mass brainwasher, and like it's integral that in order for him to use you, he has to be the one issuing the commands. But if you don't remember who he is, maybe there's a chance that you get around that. It's like, oh well, now you can't control these people,
And I
feel like you just went very conspiracy theory. He's like, I had glimpses of Mel Gibson from that movie Conspiracy Theory.
Oh, I did. Oh, I went all over the place.
I guess also we're not talking about changing histories. Like we're not talking about going back in time. What we're basically saying is like, what would happen if we erased Hitler from collective memory? It's like, well, we'd still have this whole country full of Nazis, and World War II would have still happened. We just all would have collectively been like,
they may not know why though.
Yeah, that would be the issue. Like we'd be like, wait a minute, how the hell did this? Who was the leader of this thing called the Nazis in Germany during World War II?
They may not know why they're doing something then, because then well, where's their leader? Like who is our leader? What?
Yeah.
Or you end up with something that's like the Mandela effect.
So we basically pin it all on Goebbels instead
Yeah,
of Hitler.
Exactly.
I know who I would get rid of. Jar Jar Binks. The character.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is like a soft, strong play, because it's like everybody hates it, but no one's going to lose sleep over that, nor will it destroy anybody's perception of their history.
Episode 1 suddenly is so much better now. What?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I really enjoy it. Like what? So wait, what is it like when you go to watch episode 1? Is it just like there's a humming every time he talks and like a big block of like pixels? It's like, bah.
What if it's that you forgot that he was in the movie, right? You erased Jar Jar from everyone's memory, but then you go to rewatch it and Jar Jar's there, and you go, I don't remember this annoying character. Was this always this annoying?
And then you finish watching it, and then you forget that he was a character again.
Exactly.
I mean, that's like the best palate cleanse right there, if you could forget that was a thing.
Ooh, speaking of it, all right, here we go. So how about, what if we like erased the special editions from collective memory, and all we had left was just like the original cuts of Star Wars, Han always shot first, and things like that. That would be pretty good, I think.
I would love to erase from the collective memory when they came out with the re-CGI of Jabba the Hutt.
Oh.
Yeah. So like the first time they re-released it, the CGI looked absolutely terrible. And I was like, why did you spend money on this? And then they re-released it 10 years later or whatever.
And they had to awkwardly like somehow cut on like stepping on his tail, because in the actual scene there wasn't like a slug. Jabba was just a human.
Yeah. So it's like, it was just weird and crazy.
But then again, you also have like, some bad takes every once in a while that they fix, and it's better. Like, picture the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, right? Like the animation was just awful and everybody bashed it, and then they delayed the movie. They hired somebody else and then they redesigned the entire, form of Sonic, and it looked great. The script was at least good though, so that, when they redid the animation on it, it came out great. And yeah, now there's a sequel coming out. We get good stuff. Also, I happen to like Jim Carrey.
If you erase the concept of bread from everybody's collective memory,
it means you've killed billions of people.
What does that change about everything?
Fuck you,
else
I'm not gonna
food-based?
stop eating sandwiches.
Like sandwiches aren't a thing. But what is a sandwich now? Is a sandwich
Just bread wipe away from the world?
But is a sandwich now, instead of bread being the outside layers, is now a sandwich like turkey, and then the outside is 2 pieces of tomato with lettuce in between, and like you're just honking on. Like, what would a sandwich be if you don't know what bread
well, now
is?
you gotta eat all freaking lettuce wraps and unwitches.
But would the word sandwich be a thing if you can't
It
remember?
would. It would be part of the Dune movie, sandwich.
Everything is just a word. Everything is made up.
You're made up.
All words are made up. It's not a, I would say that if we remove the memory of bread and we remove all bread from the planet, I think a sandwich theoretically would just be a wrap, because we would just substitute something else. We would put either, taco shell or
I do know lots of people would die because all of a sudden a lot of people be like, I usually have bread as my main caloric intake. And now I don't know what this thing is and I don't know how to make it. So you've literally just reduced the globe's population.
Well, you would make pasta instead. Almost the same ingredients.
Yeah, but which came first? If bread came first and you can't remember what bread is or how bread is made, is it like, you know what I mean? Like what?
Well, then you're erasing the concept of flour.
No, I'm erasing the concept
Not-
of bread.
yeah.
Well, no, so
You'd
what
be
I'm
erasing the
talking
concept
about
of
is, like,
flour.
if we don't know what bread is and we don't know how bread is made, bread is like one of the first things that was figured out, right? In my limited knowledge of food history.
But again, what you're doing is just cutting out a piece of information. People would still theoretically in our exercise know how to make pasta. They know how to make anything else baked with flour. And that's the problem, right? Like, to just erase bread, people would be like, what is this thing? And then they'd probably figure out how to make it and replicate it.
What Thanos should have snapped and did was take away the collective memory on how to eat.
I think we would have figured that
You
one out.
just
That one's
solve-
pretty basic.
No, it's just like you're trying to eat and you're like, this goes in my rectum?
Bread was actually a post-creation.
Did
to
you just
pasta, so
Wikipedia that? Because that sounds like a
so
Wikipedia
if you just
answer, and
I
that
did.
is
I did.
nonsense.
It did. It absolutely did. I had to look it up because we were talking about it, and it's incredibly relevant.
Okay, you go to the Bible, which was actually written in, take it for granted, I'm not going into religion, but like, they never talk about how John made pasta for fucking Jesus. They're talking about passing bread and wine around.
Yeah, well, Mr. Judeo-Christian, remember that there are these other cultures that existed other than people in the Near East.
But that's because pasta didn't go with that dinner.
And I bet you all, oh my gosh, he served fish. They ate fish and bread. No one talks about making pasta.
Well, that's because you're passing bread. You're not necessarily passing pasta, especially if it's a buffet. If it's a buffet, I mean, it's.
Listen, I'm gonna go online and do my half-assed research right now too.
I imagine if passing pasta would have resulted in a food fight.
All right, folks.
A holy food fight.
Well, the holy hand grenade, and then the holy pasta, and the holy food fight.
Pasta is first. Pasta is one of the oldest processed foods, dating back several thousand years to around 1100 BC. For comparison, bread dates back to 8000 BC. Early Chinese cultures mostly grew soft wheat that was not well suited to making dry pastas, but made good fresh pasta. So then I would erase pasta. And Italians, I'm gonna Thanos snap the memory of pasta out of everybody's fucking head.
Sorry, I'm going to civil war with you right now over this. I will rip that Infinity Gauntlet out of your hands and bash you across the face with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. No way I'm letting you do that. I'm on Alex's side. I'm sorry. I have to agree with him.
Yes. Imagine if that's what they were fighting about over the entire Marvel Endgame. Like Captain America fighting for.
That'd actually be a pretty funny, recut.
Yeah,
Thanos is trying to just remove bread from existence, pasta from existence, and everybody else is trying to get him to stop.
Just carbs, snap. No
Thanos
more carbs.
believes that the key to harmony is the Atkins diet.
The fight over what's more American, a sub or spaghetti and meatballs.
What's American is eating fast food nowadays.
If we're talking about it like an American food, I'd say it's a sub, but there are a lot of Italian Americans there. You know, that's why you would think that.
Yeah, and if we're talking American versus Long Island is definitely your egg sandwich.
To be fair, like, there are more people on Long Island than most parts of the country. So let's just be honest.
Oh yes, honestly, if I ever move away from here, that's the thing I'm gonna miss the most: pizza, bagels, and egg sandwiches.
Like, if we're talking about America, we are talking about the coasts and the cities. Sorry to all of our listeners. There's just more of us in those places.
I'm gonna fucking Thanos snap everything away. I'm just gonna.
You should.
Oh, speaking of pizza, can we all agree that it'd be great to erase the whole notion of pineapple on pizza?
Oh, pineapple on pizza is amazing.
Fuck you, Nick. I love you, but fuck you.
Oh my gosh, pineapple with ham on pizza is good.
Fuck you.
Let's erase the
Yes.
notion of a deep dish pizza.
Fuck
And
you.
I am pointing
Three-
at all
three-
of
3 to
my
1.
Chicago friends and saying deep dish pizza is not pizza. It's a lasagna.
It's a casserole.
It's a casserole.
Sure.
I've never actually tried pineapple pizza.
He's just saying that because he sent me a deep dish thing last night in a message, and I sent him back the Jon Stewart rant.
Sorry, we're just trying.
It's a fucking casserole.
No, but I've always felt that way. I think we've talked about that enough. If Alex and Joe were on more social media, at least on Instagram, I'd send them all my stupid rumblings as well.
I'm on Instagram.
Yeah, Joe's on Instagram.
Joe, you're on Instagram.
In all fairness, I'm barely on social media either. I just get Nick's messages and I just look at those.
Joe is on Instagram.
I'm a little disappointed.
He's on Twitter too.
Yeah, no, I just don't post things on social media. I use it to follow like Nick or other people that I like a lot.
Oh, see,
He's just a
that's
stalker.
that's
He
nice.
doesn't do anything active.
Listen, I'd rather a stalker than somebody who just removes themselves from the entire base, collective of stupid knowledge. Alex.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Alex, conform,
Sorry.
Alex.
No. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I want to be able to send you, even just make an account that you can check once a month. So I can just send you all these videos and you can watch them and know what I'm talking about. Okay, I think we have gotten way far off topic, but on that note, I think we didn't come to a general consensus, but it is what it is. I would get rid of bread, but that's funnier
And tragic.
than actually using it for good. Okay, love you all. Talk soon. Can't wait. And hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Hey!
Thanks for listening to Hey Jimmy. Big shout out to Anthony Morantz for our voiceover, Skane Music for creating our intro, and Sergio Duarte for creating our cover art. All artists can be found on the freelance platform Fiverr. You can catch Hey Jimmy every week on all major streaming platforms.